Hello everyone, my name is Griffin and we are back with another reaction video. I would like to say I do apologize for being gone for so long. Um, I decided to take a sort of month and a half long break from making videos due to Christmas and New Year's and just wanting to take a break so I don't burn myself out from doing it. So I do apologize for being gone for so long, and I hope you will enjoy the coming year for videos. With that being said, we are reacting to a video from a YouTube channel called Ho Math, which fantastic YouTube channel. I highly recommend checking him out. This video is called Deserve. Maybe deserve maxing isn't the best strategy right now. Now, I do have a bit of a sort of problem with people using the word deserve because people think they deserve this, they deserve that. Nobody in this world deserves anything. You don't deserve anything you have. You have to work to earn everything you have and everything you want. It is very arrogant to think and ignorant to think that anybody deserves anything. So you have to earn what you want. So let's see what this video has to say, shall we?
Oh, hello, babies. We've solved dating for you.
Let me cut to the chase. When she says she solved dating, what she means is that she appeased her own ego and that of the modern woman in general. She made herself feel better about her dating experiences by constructing a graph of men according to their objective qualities rather than their subjective ones like mine.
What I recommend is, you see a lot of these TikTok videos, these self-help videos, these things that I've solved this or I've solved that or whatever. Don't take everything they say as gospel. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet, because most of this stuff, it's like for this person, she says she solved dating, and like this person saying it's the guy saying made it better for herself, which he's correct. She basically solved the dating for herself, and it may work for some people the same way it worked for her, but it won't work for everybody. And a lot of times these sort of videos are more self-serving rather than helpful to everyone else. And some of these are very narcissistic as well. So I'd say take everything you hear with these sort of things with a grain of salt.
And then simply declaring that all women deserve the good kind of man and not the kinds of men with flaws because women have no flaws, I guess. It's a weird take, but I think we're familiar with it. Anyway, as usual, I have fixed the square by turning it into a cube. Cubes are pretty much it.
My name's Amy. This is my best friend, Grace.
They're from Portland. Make of that what you will.
And together, we've created the smart, dumb, sweet, evil matrix. It's going to help you.
It's going to help you become more entitled. Speaking of deserving things, I found this report on Ground News saying almost half of 18 to 27-year-olds still live with their parents, most of them for free.
Yeah, I can understand why a lot of people still live with their parents even into their 30s, because the average cost of a house across the entire United States, if I'm not mistaken, is around $300,000 to $400,000. So, and the general average income across the United States isn't enough to even afford interest on a house. Now, this can depend on where you live, but majority of people find it very difficult to save for a house because everything is already so expensive to the point where they're just getting by from paycheck to paycheck. So, like, I think the best thing a lot of people could really do is, at the very minimum, get a part-time job, live with your parents, and try and save, I'd say, up to $25,000 to $35,000 before you move out. That way you can have some money to get a place, either an apartment or, get a place with some roommates. So you're not hurting or anything right away. So you have something at least before you go out.
We're in an economic situation that nobody deserves. I'm going to help these girls upgrade their chart, but first, if you want help explaining why you still live at home, it's the cost of living, it's not avocado toast, you should check out this story on Ground News. Click the link in the description or scan here to subscribe and follow along right now. Ground News makes it easy to understand the news. You can see the same story from different angles, you can see who owns the source you're reading, and you can see how credible their reporting is and if they lean left, right, or center. So Fortune says Gen Z just wants to live in expensive cities, but the New York Post says younger Americans are showing discipline and foresight in their saving and spending patterns. So which is it? Well, Ground News also gives you the research so you can see for yourself. You can even follow your favorite topics and get a personalized news feed. I love the bird's eye view I get from Ground News. It's kind of like what I do. So go to ground.news/HM or scan my QR code to get 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan I use and show your parents that it's not your fault. Maybe we can also get through to these girls in their deserve chart. Let's see what they have to say.
Okay, so what we've discovered is that every man in the world falls on this matrix.
Not me. I don't fit in any of these. I am nice and I'm smart, but I don't quite fit here. I'll let her explain.
In quadrant 1, we have the sweet, smart matrix. This is the unicorn matrix. You have your husbands.
Hang on.
Nice.
Falls on this.
Let's see what they have to say.
Okay, so what we've discovered is that every...
All right, golden retriever, high IQ, low IQ, path holders, I don't know what that says, as gifts, willing to learn, unicorn, husbands, ones that got away, fictional men written by women, yuck, TBI, I don't know what that means, Republicans, sesh, hockey players, non-whatever, anger issues, trauma, standard narcissists, situationships / or greater than 6 whatever. 6 months, I think that says. Guitar players who hate them. What the fuck is this? This is so delusional.
Man in the world falls on this matrix.
Not me. I don't fit in any of these. I am nice and I'm smart, but I don't quite fit here. I'll let her explain.
In quadrant 1, we have the sweet, smart matrix. This is the unicorn matrix. You have your husbands, your ones who got away, and your fictional men written by women. These are the ones you want to keep. They're the ones you dream about. They're the ones you deserve, honey.
No. No. I'm sorry. You don't like I've said before in the beginning, you don't deserve any man or any woman in your life. You have to earn that person to be in your life. I'm sorry. Anybody who thinks that they deserve somebody is delusional as fuck and is living in a fantasy world. Like for me, I don't deserve any of the stuff I have in my apartment. I don't deserve any person that walks into my life. I earned everything I have in my apartment. I earn any person I have in my life that decides to stay because I've earned their trust. I've earned their friendship. And hopefully sometime in the future, I will earn somebody's love into a relationship. But yeah, I don't deserve anybody. Nobody deserves anybody. Nobody deserves anything. You have to earn anything you want in life. You have to work for it. If you think you don't have to work for anything, well, I'm sorry, but you're going to be alone and broke for the rest of your life.
Deserve, their favorite word, which means absolutely nothing. So again, I am pretty nice. I am pretty smart. I do not belong here. I am nobody's unicorn. I do not have this reputation. I alternately have these reputations. Let's let her continue.
Okay, quadrant number 2, we got the golden retriever quadrant. We got very sweet, but a little bit dumb. They can fall anywhere in this quadrant, and they're golden retrievers. They have a high EQ, but a low IQ. So they could be a nuclear scientist, but if they're getting you
EQ. Are they talking about emotional intelligence or something like that? I think they're talking about emotional intelligence.
Holders for your birthday, they are a golden retriever, honey. And finally, the most important quality of a golden retriever is that they are willing to learn. They can be taught in a...
Now, here's the other thing. Are you also, as a partner, willing to learn as well along with them? Because if you think you are perfect and you have no reason to learn or grow or anything in the relationship, I'm sorry, then that's not going to go anywhere. Because a relationship is not just a one-way street. It is a two-way street. You both are working towards what you want in that relationship. If one person is the only one doing everything in the relationship, at some point, if they, actually realize it, they're going to leave you. You can't have that person do everything in the relationship. Because you at that point, you either are a dumb bitch or a dumb bastard.
Eventually, these golden retrievers can become unicorns, which is why they are part of the keeper hemisphere.
Okay, important note. When she says dumb here, what she means is not buying her the correct presents. So again, you can be a nuclear scientist in this box, but if you are not serving her needs, then you are dumb and must be fixed.
Quadrant number 3, we have the yuck quadrant. That is the dumb and evil.
Fair enough.
Finally, we have your smart and evil quadrant. This is the trauma quadrant.
I agree with that one too.
In the trauma quadrant, you have your standard narcissist.
Narcissist usually but not always means got the better of me.
Your situationships that last longer than 6 months.
That again is a good insight. Hanging out in this area for too long is a bad sign.
And finally, your guitar players who hate themselves.
Hey, I don't hate myself.
Hey, come on, you can't write off people just because they like doing a certain thing. Just because you don't like their hobbies or what they've worked on for years on end, be it guitar playing, drums, video games, reading, whatever the person's hobby is, if you what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? If you just, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? If you just, blow them off, I can't fucking think of the word right now. If you just blow them off because of the hobby they have, how are you any better of a person? You are just as narcissistic and just as evil. You can't just, judge somebody based on what their hobby is. Like for me, mine is video games and content creation. That is my hobby. And for somebody to just, write me off just because of that, look, I get it's something you don't like, but saying that is a flaw enough to where I'm just not dateable, that is, disingenuous and stupid. You don't have to like what they like. You don't have to have the person like what you like for a relationship to work.
Anymore. I hate everything else. I hate that I have to explain this.
Notably, I am not allowed to date in the trauma quadrant anymore.
Good for you. Personal.
I don't understand why, I know men do this too, but I'm a man, so I'm focusing on the woman part. I don't understand why a lot of women, when they find a good guy, and I'm saying a good guy, not a nice guy. Nice guys are shitheads. I'm saying an actual good guy. The one who would treat them right, take care of them, actually love them, and, all this sort of stuff, that actually does this stuff and genuinely does it because he wants to, not because he thinks he has to. They see this person as boring and whatnot. They disregard, that's the word I was looking for. They disregard that person. And then for some reason, they go after this sort of bad boy that treats them like shit, will cheat on them, and will abuse them. And they seem to keep going back to these sort of people. I don't get the mentality behind that. I don't understand that. Why are you going for these people and just disregarding the good guy who will actually make your life better? I don't understand it. I never understood it. You are just saying shoo to the bad guy and going right, to the good guy and going right for the bad guy who for a fact will cheat on you, will abuse you and whatnot, And then after all that, you'll say, oh, all men are pigs, all men are dogs, all men suck. It's like, no, not all men suck. It's just you're the dumb bitch who keeps going after shitheads because you think it's fun. I'm sorry, at that point, you get no sympathy from anybody because you are the stupid dumbass who keeps going after shitheads and keeps disregarding the good guys who you know will actually treat you right. And you leave them because you think they're boring or some stupid shit like that.
Growth. Nobody mean is a good rule.
This has never proved us wrong. It is true for every man we have ever known.
Okay, it's true from your perspective. That's how you see all guys. There's something that you're missing from our perspective that might help you on your journey. And also, maybe lay off the deserve word. In my opinion, deserving is at an all-time high, and it's kind of resulting in women ending up in these areas a little more than is necessary. That's when they are encouraged to...
Yeah, see, this is the other thing. I don't know how long ago, 10, 20, 30 years ago, this sort of graph you see here used to be a little bit more balanced out. But nowadays, this sort of the current wave feminist movement and all these sort of other women's empowerment groups or whatever the fuck you want to call them put these sort of messages in women's heads saying that they deserve the top 10% of men and all this sort of stuff. It's just they put this fantasy like idea in their head. It's like you have to humble yourself. You have to come back to reality and know that you don't deserve anything. You don't deserve anybody. Stop overlooking people who are on your same level or maybe a point or two above, because you're going years throughout your life alone and single, wishing you had somebody, and here you are disregarding all the people who are on your same level or maybe a point or two above your same level. You're disregarding them because you're trying to go after the 8s, 9s, and 10s who have these 8s, 9s, and 10s have multitudes of choices of women, most of which are more than likely much better looking and much better wife material than you are. So, ladies, humble yourself a bit, please. And, you know, it goes the same way for the men, but right now we're focusing on, you know, the woman part.
Deserve someone who doesn't agree. So you say that your model solves dating. First of all, you're only talking...
And, sorry, I keep pausing it. It's like, I understand you want the best suitor for yourself. I get that. Especially if you want kids. The best suitor is the best choice so your kids can have the best sort of genes, the best chance in life. And I understand that. I get it. I got nothing against the sort of preferences people have. Everyone has their own preference of the type of partner they want. But don't have your preferences so fucking high that you're just not going to be able to find somebody for years or decades. Have your bar set to a more attainable level that you find people who are actually going to love you and enrich your life and make you, you know, feel like you're not a piece of shit. A lot of you ladies are setting your bar way too goddamn high that you're at the point you're not going to find anybody because your bar is set too fucking high. Have some high standards, but don't have all your standards so high that you're going to be alone with your cat for the rest of your life.
About this part of it and assuming that this part of it is all here to your satisfaction, which is a different conversation. Second of all, I think that this model is going in the right direction, but you're probably putting some men in one of these categories preemptively because you are ignoring a hidden third dimension. So to help you solve dating, I've created the investment cube. It's a little rough, but you get the idea. I changed your axes a little bit. Instead of nice and mean, I think you wrote sweet and evil, I put willingness to invest and give you what you want in a relationship. And instead of dumb and smart, I put experienced. That's knowing what to do in relationships and how to do it. And then finally, the aspect you left out was able. How able is he? If he's willing and experienced, but maybe not able at the moment, but that could change in the future, that's something that you maybe should consider. You gave an example of a guy in the fix category who gets you pot holders because he's inexperienced and doesn't know what you want. But what about a guy who is getting you pot holders because he just isn't quite able yet, in this yellow box over here, to...
Yeah, this makes a lot more sense because a lot of like people in their early 20s up to early 30s probably have are desirable and are experienced, but they're not quite able yet because they're not very financially in a position where they're able to do a lot of the stuff they want to do in a relationship. Now, it's fine if you want to find somebody who's more financially stable, more desirable, and is experienced. That's fine. But if you find somebody who isn't very far along in their finances yet, you can't expect them to do much. What you could do is, help build with that person, and that way you both are able to financially get a lot of things that you both want. You can't just expect him to be able to do all the stuff that you want. You have to also be there to help build up the person as well.
Get you what he already knows you want. What if there are guys out there who are very willing and very experienced, but just not able enough for you at the moment, which, may or may not change in the future? This is something that actually happened to me recently. I met someone who assumed I was in the dark green here, and as time went on, I had to just say, whoa, that's gonna take a few years. That's kind of and then she feels like this now. There is a saying out there that women do not struggle with men. They wait at the finish line and choose the winner so they can get the benefits. And that might be a self-defeating strategy, at least in today's dating environment. It used to work better in the past when we had more structure.
Yeah, see, the dating world should realistically look more like this, more equal, and such. Sucks to be the 1, 2s, and 3s, but this was more equalized rather than what it is now, where people who are 6 and below aren't even really looked at all, and 7 is barely looked at.
In society, and men in general, even middle value men, could accumulate enough to buy a house and provide stability for a woman on his value level. But times are different now. These guys are not really buying houses exactly. So the more that you tell all women that they deserve someone who can provide them everything they want, the fact that those guys are fewer and fewer in number is going to mean that they have a lot of women clustering around them, which is going to make them a lot less willing to pick one and provide for her. You'll notice that I colored all of the unwilling boxes red. You should be getting away from guys who are not willing. Those guys who have a lot of access to women, they tend to get a bunch of temporary ones rather than a permanent one and lead them on for a few years by saying things like this. So let's solve dating even more by going over the investment cube. Here it is. Your sweet evil matrix, pictured here, breaks down men into sweet versus evil and dumb versus smart, and then claims that all men are to be found on this grid and that all women deserve a guy who is nice and smart, or at least the opportunity to fix one who is nice and dumb, putting him in the deserve category. Now this is an insufficient picture, and that's because as time goes on, there are more and more men who are willing to put in the work, which you call sweet, and who know how to put in the work, which you call smart, but simply are not able to put in an adequate amount of work for you. It's the economy. So as standards of living decrease, this was 2011, God knows where this is by now, but your standards do not decrease. There's just going to be fewer and fewer men over time who can provide what women deserve.
Yeah, it really does suck that unless something is done with the economy to make things a little easier on, the middle and lower class and hopefully the poor, not a lot of guys who are willing and experienced are going to be able to do much because shit is so expensive. Groceries, bills, car, house, all this sort of stuff is expensive. And so a lot of us are not able to do a lot of the stuff we would like to do for the person that we eventually would like to date or marry or stuff like that. I mean, we are willing and experienced, but financially, we're just not able to do a lot of the stuff that these women would like. So we hope that a lot of the women we hope to date would understand that we are willing and we're experienced, but we hope that they will be patient until we are able to do and provide all the stuff we would like to do and provide. But there are plenty of women out there who are not patient enough or willing to be patient enough to wait until the guy they are dating is able to do the things that he would like to do and that she would like him to do. You got to have a lot of patience, and you got to be willing to help work with your partner so that you both can be in a better place over time. Now, you both have to be willing to work so that you're both able to do the things you want. It's not just one person that is willing and able. You can't have just one person do it, because if it's just one person doing it, over time the person is just going to say, I've had enough. I'm the only one putting in any sort of effort into this relationship. I'm just going to leave. And that really sucks.
So your advice to women to solve dating for them was to just simply pick this guy, the guy who is willing to invest in you and knows how to do it and is able to do it. But in reality, there are not enough of those guys to go around. Those guys are so small in number that they're going to have a lot of options to pick from, and that's going to make them...
Yeah, that dark green box right there, that's probably like 5-10% of the male population in the world. And there's not a lot of those guys to go around to fill the needs of every single female out there. So it's a reality. It sucks for a lot of the women who would like that kind of guy, but it's the reality that y'all have to live with.
Unwilling to pick one. You can't all be at the front of the line. So if a guy is willing and experienced, that would be your sweet and smart, but not able to give you the type of investment that you're looking for, that would be the struggle box. I put that in yellow back here. Women do not really like being in the struggle box. They don't want to win the race with us. They want us to win first and then share. Finally, back here we have the project box in orange, and that would be a guy who is willing to take care of you properly, but neither is he able, at the moment at least, nor does he know what he's doing. And that is a project. Okay, I wish I had exact percentages here. I'm just estimating to make a point. Some percentage of men are going to be unwilling to invest in a relationship, and the more options they have, the more unwilling they're going to be. Some percentage of men are going to be ready, willing, and able. If you can lock one down, good for you. Some percentage of men are going to be able and willing, but not ready and don't understand. And if you want one of the fixers, then good for you also. But in my estimation, the struggler section of society is going to be larger and growing, and the project section is probably going to take up, I don't know if this is more than half already or what. I wish I had numbers. But my point here is that you told all women to pick this guy. You said they deserve it. You basically just took this green color right here, and you just said, that's all of you are in the deserving category of just a few. You can see how mathematically that might not work out. Now, I am not telling you that you have to settle for someone who doesn't have enough of what you want. You don't have to. I'm just saying that some of you are going to have to choose between either one of these back row guys or pursuing someone who could be here but is unwilling, or maybe like a Jack Russell. They're pretty cute. So in order to clarify what women should be deserving in order to maximize people finding an appropriate match, let's break down income by category. Now, first of all, the median income for the male population of the United States is about $46,000, and that is going up, but not as fast as rent and groceries. I also want to mention I made about this much money in 2014, and it did not go very far. Here's a quick breakdown of income brackets in the United States. I have stacked those up for you. Now, as you can see, there's a good percentage, 37.5, of people in the United States who make over 100K, but as you can also see, they're going to be overwhelmingly old, probably not in the age range you're looking for. Guys more your age are going to be concentrated in these lower levels. So let's go by age here. Average salary for 20 to 24 is $38,012 per year, which is, I could not imagine. I think that's rent in Manhattan. Average salary for 25 to 34 is $54,080 per year. Average for 35 to 44, which I'm imagining is beyond the upper limits of your dating range after this ad here, is $65,676 per year. Now, I made more than this in 2018, and it did not go far. To be fair, it does say that men earn more at $14.01 per week, which would be $72,852, but that does include 44-year-old men. So in other words, more guys than you think are going to be at the lower end of the able to invest axis in these unattractive, dingy-colored struggle and project boxes. So when you encourage women to deserve even harder than they already are, you're telling them to focus on these front boxes full of men who are able to provide, which looks like this. They begin to cluster around the men who have the ability to do that, which makes those men fall from the willing category to the unwilling category because they have an abundance of options. That's why, even though your boxes are not wrong and you're smart to stay out of this one, encouraging women to deserve is going to make them look for guys who are already able, who have already made it, which is going to clog the market. Some of you, most of you, should probably be looking for a guy who is willing, a guy who wants to become more able because of your presence in his life is a pretty good sign. That's a guy who wants to move from here to here or from here to here, and then you can do the rest of the work. So more deserving is not going to solve dating. If anything, it's going to clog up these two cubes and drop them down to here, which is what you don't want. But what might help solve dating is if maybe a few more of you were willing to run the race with us rather than waiting at the finish line and picking the winner.
It's a classic gripe.
Oh, hello, babe.
Well, that was Home Math's deserve maxing isn't the best strategy right now, which I think everything he explained on here is pretty much spot on. I don't really have any disagreements with anything he said. I honestly agree with everything he said because, like I've said, nobody deserves anything. Nobody will ever deserve anything. You have to earn and work for everything you have and everything you want. So telling people they deserve something and they don't have to work for it is not the best idea and will just make things worse. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe for more. Also, make sure to check me out on Twitch. I stream... cracked my wrist. I stream at least 4 to 6 days a week. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.